All right, so today's session, we're going to be showing you how to set up intervention strategy and also how to identify at-risk student from the RTOManager, as well as obviously how we could record the intervention. All right, so after we have recorded in the system, there's also a sub-function of emailing this intervention record to the respective students, as well as there is also a form that we can set up in the system so that we can download and maybe get the student to signify it. So I will also quickly go through these two template and form so we can explain. Okay, now, so then in the following slides, it will actually explain to you how we can set up the intervention strategy in the system, as well as all the templates and form. Okay, so but these slides will also be sent out to you guys after the session as well. So don't worry if you haven't got this in time. All right, so I'm going to switch to my actual system to show you on the live on the actual system. All right, so let me quickly get off here. And so this is my RTOManager, right? Everyone would be quite familiar with this place. So to start with, we have to first we have to first initiate what sort of strategy we want to set up in terms of intervention. So to do that, we go into admin and then go under configuration and setup, and then scroll on the right menu until you see intervention strategy. So click on intervention strategy, it will take you to this page. So now under intervention type, you have to first list what sort of intervention you're interested to set up. As you can see on my screen, I have set up a few different interventions that was most popular. Okay, so to do that, you can then click on here, add new intervention type. So say if you want to add a new intervention type, just click on here, and it will allow you to add a new intervention. Okay, so we can then go in and say that, so we can go in here and say that if we want to look for maybe set up a attendance less than 50%. Okay, we can do that. And then what is the strategy type? What sort of strategy you would want to put in if there is this attendance that is less than 50%? Okay, so for what I have done here, you can see that I have chosen my intervention type, a few of them. For example, this latest one is to intervention for missing 5 consecutive attendance. In terms of interventions, each college would have had different things that they want to intervene, but the most commonly one would probably be the academic progress as well as attendance. So hence here I have set up a few examples. So what you do is you set up the intervention type, then you put in a strategy. So for example, in this case, my intervention type is for to address the missing 5 consecutive attendance, and my strategy is consulting meeting. Okay, there's a series. So as you can see, I have I also have one missing 5 consultative attendance. I'm issuing warning letter 1. So I would have stated in my strategy, issue was warning letter 1, something like that. Okay, so if I let this go and say add new, immediately you will see that I have warning letter 1. Okay, attendance less than 50%. So I've created a strategy of such. So in terms of intervention, I mean, there will be different steps of how, you can have one intervention step and that's it, or you can escalate. So for me, is I actually have I have originally set up a 5 missing, issue 1 warning letter, and then I have a follow-up, meaning I probably have not seen action from it. I issue a second warning letter, and the third time is definitely a consultation because I'm going to have to bring it in. So it depends on how you want to set up your strategy. Okay, so once we have set up our strategy, then we have to go in to record our, to find, no, we should go and look for the student that is at risk, all right, of needing this intervention. So by going into the report, okay, so my scenario here is for student that is missing 5 consecutive attendance. So I've gone into report, and under student services, I can just type in some keyword like 5 cons. It will bring me the reports that I need. So in this case, it's 5 consecutive attendance. If you say you wasn't sure of what sort of report you were looking at, say if I'm looking for academic, I'm not sure what report I have in there, I can just type in a keyword to then bring up all the necessary report. Okay, so from here, you would be able to choose whichever report and then bring up the relevant details. So for example, for mine, I said 5 consecutive. So I bring up this report, okay? And my course type would be VET courses. And say, for example, I'm choosing, I know I'm looking for this, for student that is for this particular course, all right? So you would have set up a reasonable date range. For me, is I'm pushing my date range out really big so I can bring out late data, relevant data to show you, okay? So from that, I see that I have 2, 4, 5 students that is at risk. Okay, so according to my strategy that I set up, okay, I'm going to identify them and then first send a warning letter. Okay, so this is my strategy. All right, I know I have 5 students. So at this stage, I can go in and says that I will have to, now that I've identified each student, say for example, student A, all right, so I will, in this case, copy the student ID, right? Come to the next tab where it says compliance. Okay.
Can I maybe just ask a quick question before you jump to the next part?
Yes.
With those reports, do we have to set up a separate report based on our interventions?
Sorry, say that again.
We have to set up a separate report. I can see you already had a report that matched your intervention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a report that matches my intervention. So is that something we would need to?
You would have to, okay, you would have to you would pull up the report from the existing report just to see which one you want to use, right? So I didn't make up a report per se. These are all the reports that is available in the system. Depending on what this is, we use our existing report to identify the at-risk student. If you do need to pull out a specific report other than what we have available in the system, then you have to reach out to our help desk to see how we can cater for that report to be captured.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So whatever I show in here will be things that are readily available in our system already. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Now, going into the next step, because the way I set up my strategy is I'm going to send out I'm going to issue 2 warning letters before I actually goes into an actual consultation. Or from the warning letters, I can then move into the consultation. So since I've already identified my student, I go into compliance and then go into intervention. Okay. So I haven't set up any examples here per se to show you, but I can work one with you, okay? So what we're doing is we're going to click on this add new button. And obviously I have to then put in my student ID. So the respective course would be this course, and then semesters would be automatically it will pick up this particular semester. Okay. I have some background noise here. Can everyone please go on to mute? Thank you. So, and from here, we have to select our intervention type. So over here, remember how we had set up all these various intervention type. So I can then come in here and select, okay? So the first one I want to select is, for this scenario, I'm going to choose missing 5 consecutive attendance. Okay, so details of this intervention case is student missing classes 5 consecutive time. Okay, and so intervention strategy, in this case, I will issue my first warning letter. Say action taken is issue first warning letter. Okay, and then action to prevent at this stage, this is still an open case. It's the first, we are just opening the case. So I haven't put in any question, any action in here, and this is not a mandatory field. So I don't know if you have noticed this, the top field that I filled in, that is actually, if I have removed this, this sentence, see how the little red star would have popped up? So this denote that this is an mandatory field. So I've just put in there, case is open. When do I want to close this, the due date of this particular intervention? Say, for example, I'm going to say, let's give it to the end of the month, okay? And the outcome date, I will want to see an outcome, say, by next Friday, okay? And do I need to escalate this to anyone? At this stage, I probably say no, because this is, I just opened this case, I'm going to leave it as is. And then if there's any files, so if I have any files or records, maybe attendance list or whatnot that I can set in here as supporting document, I can then put in here, and then I just click record intervention. Okay, so I've recorded the intervention. All right, and then next. So once I recorded intervention, my next step is obviously to send the issue the first warning letter. How do I do that? I've come into the report and then go into, there is two ways, okay? As anyone, last week we have talked about how to set up a letter template and how to set up email template, okay? So naturally, before I issue the warning letter, I will have to set up the letter, okay? To do that, I go to report and then go into letter, okay? Okay, so reports, click add new and edit letter. So I just go into letter, and all letters in our systems are set up under reports. Okay, so these are all the reports that you can set up letters for. All right, and I found my report, which is here. So I set up my letter. Okay, so I've essentially set up two letters. One is attendant warning 1 and warning 2. Okay, so now that I have already set up my letter, I can then go up to letter again, to report again. And this time I just click on the icon letter, and I would search for the letter, the respective reports, bring up. Again, I have to repeat this process to bring up my student. Okay, and you notice that I have this color. All right, so this is actually my tracking color. I've set up two letters with two tracking colors, a pink, a light blue, and a pink. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing is, so let's say I'm choosing the second student, like for the second student, if I click here, so I'm just trying to give you an example, and over here, if I select the second student, I can then issue the first warning letter. You have the choice of first or second warning letter. So if I reckon that this is a second student that is at risk, choose the first warning letter. And then if I want to just send it to the student, if you have a college email, by all means. So this is to let you select where you want to send this warning letter to. So I'm sending it to the student's private email. I'm selecting this to say that also the letter content as an email to the agent, okay, and also add to student communication log. I want to generate a PDF letter as well as saving it, okay. So I can CC it to an agent if I know that there is an agent for this student, or I already sent it to students, so I don't think I need to CC the student. So then I can also select from which email I want to send this out to, send this out from, okay? I can say that I want to go out from my training email, okay? And then I just click confirm. So this first warning letter will have gone out, okay? So if I quickly let you see this letter, this is the email this is the first letter that I set up, okay? A simple letter. So naturally, you guys will have to go in and develop your own warning letter if this is the case that you want to see, all right? How to develop how to set up a letter template, please refer to our last session, the recording, okay? And then if I click here and click view again, see how notice I have see this color? It's now in aqua, meaning I have sent the first letter out. Okay, so if I just swap the student around, if this case you are coming back to, okay, in this case, I sent the first warning letter out, okay, and if I come back in here, on the student ID, okay, so you notice how from here, I have recorded that I've sent my first warning letter out, and it's now sitting here, it's been recorded. Okay, so if I say I fast forward, and if you read my file on the same student, I actually have fast tracked it. I've sent 2 warning letters out already. Okay, so now my second letter has gone out, so hence the record is showing me pink. So we use this record to track and see which students. So obviously those that has no color, that means that, you know, they are still sitting there. Maybe we're negotiating with something or whatnot. But over here is the intervention is actually now in place. So from here, we can then go in and start. We'll keep our record on how, you know, if we have already sent the second missing letter. Okay, I can say that say today is I sent the first warning letter on the 17th of 7th. Okay, and then next one. Student still missing classes. So I recorded it on the 19th, say today. All right, and so hence I issued the second warning letter. Okay, so I have issued. Then you can keep the case open until you are ready to say close the file. Okay, so if you say that my case is now after second warning letter, it says we spoken to student and work out a solution to address this issue. Okay, so so when you come to, so means that when let's say if I allow me to forge the date a little bit, so that way it gives me a reasonable outcome to close the case. All right, so all my cases, files, record intervention. Okay, so from here, I can still Now I can come back and run my report. Okay, so I have, you see, I have my open cases. Okay, so if I need to update anything on here, all right, I can do that. All right, so if I were to send out an intervention, this is to notify about the intervention, the email. So hence the email template that I was telling you about earlier when we were supposed to go in here and then set up an email template. Okay, so that intervention is actually consists of a what do you say? It consists, it's the same action icon over here. So this is actually a predefined email template. So once we have opened up an intervention case, the student would automatically receive an email notifying them that a case has been opened on them. Okay, so we can then click on here. You're able to send. Please confirm. Okay, so meaning that I have sent an intervention email out to the client, to the student already. Okay, and how do we do, how the predefined email template is to go onto report. And then if you go into predefined template, under template name, you can obviously scroll through the list, but if we use keyword and search, okay, so it should bring up all these different intervention template. Okay, Janice can't type today. Okay, so it is the second template that we're after. And say if you click on this pen and paper icon, if you haven't already done so, you'll notice that this template is actually empty. Okay, then you have to come in here and say fill in a subject, maybe called intervention summary. Okay, and if you have a specific email that you want to send from and also CC, by all means fill in, then you will build the body of the template, okay, using the relevant parameters from here. So anything that is in the squiggly bracket are actually picked up from these parameters. Okay, so I built a very simple list of what I have included in my template. You guys obviously can go in and build your own template, adding your signature, your logo, and whatever information you want in there. Once you've done that, just click on this little floppy icon. I know it's a little bit small, but if you click on this, it will save this template for you. Okay, so once we have done that, coming back here, what I said, I click here as a save temp to send the email. Let me quickly see if I have already received that email. Okay, I got that email. Now, can you see this? So this is my email template, right? So on the other hand, alternatively, if you say that email is not good enough, but I need the student to actually sign a form, okay? So when you click this icon, it will generate an intervention form, okay? So this is the form. Okay, so this form should be uploaded into your system if you haven't already done so. This is just a generic form that we have set up. You obviously can go in to change. I mean, obviously you won't be using Mesh, Higher Ed, or our logo. So you can go in and redesign this form however feel you want it. Okay, but because this form has to picked up some specific document, like some specific field. So if I just quickly open up the form for you to see. Okay, so as you can see, this is the raw form, right? We don't need the form to look exactly like this, but we need the fields to be exactly like this. I mean, to use the exact field. You can reposition this field anywhere. You can use all of them. You can use only a few of them. It's up to you. But we just need the fields, especially these fields that is in the squiggly bracket, is the actual field that the system will pull the information from. So if you say that I don't want it to be student ID, called student ID, you can call it anything, you know, student name or whatnot. So, but these are the relevant. Okay, so we have to save this form. This form is saved under, if you can see from here, a bit small, intervention, interview, and strategy form. So after you have designed your form, it needs to be called this name. Okay, please save your form under this name, intervention, interview, and strategy form. Okay, save it under this name. Then I would say quickly come back to your admin, college materials. Okay, scroll, usually it's on the second page. It depends on how many folders it has been created already. Look for a folder that is called template. Okay, when you click on template, look for another folder called DOCX. Just click on it. And over here, if you already see this form uploaded for you, so means that the form is already there, you can just you can click on this form to download it and then design it, whichever, if you haven't already done so. If you don't see this form out here, then you can, in my PowerPoint after the session, I will send to you the PowerPoint as well as a copy of the form that I've just showed you. So you can use that as your template to build your own forms. And then remember to save it under the same name. So all you need to do is to come back here, choose the file, and then bring up the same name, the form that you have created, which is this name, and just click upload. It will be uploaded into this form, into this folder. Once it's uploaded into this folder, whenever you click this icon here, it will generate that respective form. Okay, so for this particular student, if I go into the student profile and drill into, so I go into the diary, okay, you will see that it's all locked there. But if I drill in from here into the intervention, okay, I can also generate the files from here as well. Okay, so go into diary, click on this. See how it actually captures the record of the email? Okay, so everything, because we also selected it to be captured under the comps diary, so hence all of this is here. And then if I need to make any comments, it's there. And the form that we have previously downloaded, so if you make it into a form format that you need this, then you can give it to the student for signature. Then you can give a hard copy to them to sign, and then maybe come back into the student diary to then upload and keep a record on file. Okay, so a couple of steps. First, you need to go into admin, under intervention strategy, set up your strategy. Okay, and then if there is any email template, so if you haven't already set up the intervention email template, go into report, select email under predefined, look for intervention. Okay, look for the second email, the second template. Just click on the pen and paper pen icon to populate your body. Then next, if within your intervention, a letter is involved, is required, then go into report, edit letter, and then click add the letter. Okay, so once you have done that, then go into compliance, select intervention, click on add new. And then from here, you will be able to fill in the details, select what intervention is required, and then just record the intervention. Okay, so for you to view the intervention, obviously come back here, choose from. If you have a whole list of a lot of open and closes, you can use the status to choose case open cases or unsolved cancelled. So all these different criteria over here allows you to quickly bring on the report of what intervention is currently in place or what has already been closed. So which one is about to be due, and it gives you. I suppose this would have answered the ladies. Sorry, I didn't catch your name before. In
Yes,
terms
Sarah,
of
this is perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah. So for sorry, I haven't set up a lot of intervention here, so I wasn't able to bring up a lot of results to show you, but this is the one that I built with you, so you can pretty much pull out from there. Okay. So if I quickly toggle back to my PowerPoint. So in my PowerPoint, I would have shown you how to set up the intervention strategy, and also how we will record the steps of how we record the intervention, as well as from where and how we should set up the intervention email template so that it will automatically fire out to the student. Okay, and I've given you a short sample of what I have created for my template. So you can use this as a blueprint to build your own, or you already have one that is in place currently. Excellent. Just copy and paste into. Just make sure that you pick up anything that is, I can't stress enough, anything that is in the squiggly bracket is actually our system fields. So what that means is whenever you put this field in there, the system will know to go where to pull out the relevant data, so that way you don't have to keep backfilling it. Okay. So I also went in to show you how we can upload that the file, the intervention forms. Okay, over here. Right. A reminder in terms of the interventions and strategy form, it has to be in this format. Okay, so yeah, not format, in this file name. It has to be intervention, interview, and strategy form. Okay, because the system will only recognize this document. All right. Yep. And then in terms of the fields that you can use, okay, I have also pulled them out in this list, so hopefully you can, if you can use this as a reference when you're building your form. Right. The respective file name you can choose, you can change. All right, it doesn't have to be called agent name. It can just be called agent if you like. But the field of this agent has to be squiggly bracket with agent name in it. Okay, so I put them there as a list for your reference. I've also given you a snapshot of how the form, at least our generic form look like. So you can either stick to this format if you like, just change to whatever your college's addresses and logos and all that. Or alternatively, you can redesign this plate as well and capture as many or as less information as you required. Make it into a form format so that you can put in a signature that the student can sign. Okay, so this is a very quick version in terms of how we set up intervention management and record. So thank you very much, everyone, for today's session. Any question?
Yes, sorry, me again. Can I just ask one more? So when you are viewing your interventions, you had the level 2 was pink. How do you get the system to recognize what is what is pink and what is not? Okay,
so that comes back to where I have set up your letter. Okay, so I have also discussed this in my last session last week, no, 2 weeks ago. So Sarah, maybe if I can send you a copy of last week's session.
That would be great. Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, so otherwise I think I've already overrun. So if I quickly go through this, that would be a little bit long. So let me send you our last session, and so you can go through the video to learn how to put in the colors. So essentially,
Thank you.
it's under letters, and over here, when it asks you, do you want to track a color? Then if you choose yes, it will then ask you what color, and then it starts to track from there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I suppose I should have said this up front. If you have any questions, or put it in the chat. So but obviously, Sarah, we have discussed a couple of issues, concerns. Then today's session would be the last of my sessions. So I actually very welcome everyone. If you have other ideas that you think it would be beneficial for us to run a feature like this, a short session on, please put in the chat or send us an email into the support email, or you can send it directly to me if you want. My email is training@meshgroup.com.au. So if you send your suggestions across, and then we will try to put into our feature Spotlight Friday. Okay. So if you don't have any, I have a few. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So all this PowerPoint and the forms, as well as the recording of this session, will be sent to you after the session. Okay. So give us a little bit of time to beautify everything and put it into a good package, nice package to email out to you. All right. Okay. So if we don't have if you don't have any, if you don't see any other questions in our chat, I think this would be pretty much it for today. So I wish everyone, let me turn on my camera, otherwise it will be too impolite. So I wish everyone a good weekend, and thank you very much for coming to today's session.
Thanks very much.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks, everyone. I will still be online for a little while. If you want to put in anything in the chat, you'll be great. Thank you.